Are we working? Can someone tell me if we're working? I tell you what, if everything could go wrong before I'm about to start, it did. So my streaming software stopped working, and then YouTube stopped working. Just let me know you can hear me and you can hear the old guitar. Are we working? I'll play some stuff. Play some guff into it. Yay, great. The level's all right. Can everyone hear the guitar? Everyone hear me? Great, nice one. Right, now I had things all set up for you, and because I've had to turn everything off, I'm not sure everything's going to work now. So let me just, oh man, that was an absolute nightmare. Let me just see if this is working. Of course it's not bloody working. Right, let me go back. Let me see if this is working. Okay. We're going to have to work like this. Let me go back to there. Okay. I might need to just do a bit of setting up so you can see exactly what's going on. Actually, I'm definitely going to need to do that. So what we've got, I've set up 4 different cameras so you guys can see exactly what's going on with the actual Katana that we've got set up here and the software. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back to the software, which is here. And let me just give me 2 seconds, guys, while I quickly sort this out. That'd be why. That one. Let's try that now. Okay, we're sort of getting there. Give me 2 seconds. God, you see you'll see all the stuff that I have to deal with, and James and I have to deal with doing these videos. Right, position down, it's that way. I don't know why they can't just say down and up. Give me 2 secs. Right, let's make this a bit bigger. And let's mask the top. Sorry guys, I know this is incredibly boring, but you'll understand in a minute. Hey, right, okay. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger, so you can see exactly what is going on. Okay, now I'll tell you what's happening because of what I've done here. I'm trying to set up the Katana and the panel of the Katana, and then the software that you guys can see. Let me just put back to there. So the idea today is that we're going to be setting up sounds actually using the control panel, the actual top panel of the Katana, which is this camera here. Okay, so, and then what I thought we'd do is I can explain to you what all of the different controls do and how to set them up so you can get a great sound live, and so you don't have to plug into a computer, and you can just use the actual top panel. So we've got, if I set up this software and I bring in that other camera like this. Okay, right. So what we'll do first of all, let's just set up, let's wind it all the way back so the reverb's off and the delay's off. So we've got like this clean sound. I've got delay on my pedal board, let's turn that off. There we go. Okay. So what I thought we'd do is to set up one of those sort of amp tones that you can basically do almost everything with. So if you want to just use the Katana and then just use some of the effects that are inside the Katana, we can do that. Or if you've got a pedal board, it'll work really, really well with a pedal board. So first of all, let's get a tone up that I want to work with. So what I'd like to do, let's give it a little bit more gain. Now, I'm using a Telly, which is a really balanced sort of guitar, but I think you could do with a little bit more treble, a little bit less bass. Okay, now if you look at the controls, you'll see that basically there's, you know, everything's set at pretty much 12 o'clock. Now if you've got a Katana Mark II, make sure that you've got this variation button on. The variation button is really important on the Mark II. I'll show you what it sounds like without. So as I've explained before, let me go back to me. As I've explained before, that variation button adds some extra gain. You can get some more gain out of it. It sounds way more like, you know, something like a Vox AC30. You've got that nice sort of chimey sort of sound to it. It's a little bit driven and it gives it a nice sort of sparkly tone. Let's go back to that. Now, what you'll see, if I bring my mouse over, you see we've got all of these booster, mod, effects, delay and reverb. And then we've got all this down here which says different reverbs. We've got plate, we can choose room, hall, spring and modulate. We've got these different colours here. So let's turn on the reverb. A little bit too much. Okay. So we've got these three different colours down here. Now I can change the colour on this button here to go from green to red and then to yellow. So you'll see the button here is changing as well as the button on the actual Katana. So with the reverb control, on the green control I've got a plate setting. On the blue control, on the green control I've got a plate setting. On the red control I've got a spring. And on the yellow control I've got modulate. So the difference in the sound between the two, or the three, there's my plate setting. The spring in the Katana is actually really, really good. So the spring emulation. And if I push it again, we can go to the modulate. Okay, the modulation setting on the reverb, that's probably my favourite in the Katana. It sounds really, really good actually. Now, if I click on the reverb setting, now you'll notice that when I change the reverb, we're changing the effects level. Now, these buttons do different things depending on what setting you've got it on. But if we leave it on the modulation, the modulated reverb, it's affecting the effects level. Right, let's bring it back to a sensible level. Right, next, if I go to my effects, next we've got the delay setting. Now, if I turn up this control here, this little, because on the Mark II you've got these dual concentric knobs. So the top one is the delay. Now you'll see as I'm moving this dual concentric knob, this control up here is starting to move. And if I click on the delay setting, you can see exactly what's going on. Now you'll notice with the delay, what's happening is it's affecting the feedback and the effects level at the same time, because what it's doing is it's letting you use this live. It's when you're turning this up, you're not just turning up the effects level, you're decreasing the feedback, which again is just going to make it sit a little bit better in a track. So it's like a one function or a one control that's going to control a couple of different functions. Right, let's go back to the effects. Now you'll see we've got, again, these different choices. So I can choose between, let's start at the top. Digital. So if you don't know what the difference is between let me go back to me. If you don't know what the difference is between all these different delay settings, and you can change these here, but a digital delay is basically almost like a perfect recreation of the thing that you play into it. So we're not going to lose any frequencies. If I play a chord, you'll hear that the repeats are the same EQ and they don't deteriorate. Right, if I change that to, let's go to an analog echo. Now you'll hear that when it repeats, the delays are, they sort of go down, they sort of lose clarity as it repeats more. So let's keep this on, actually we'll keep it on analog for the moment. So I can change between my different delay types. The pan delay gives us that nice stereo delay. Let me go back to there. There we go. And then we've got tape echo. Right, I'm going to keep it on the pan setting, so we're just going to keep it on the red control there. Right, next if I go to the modulation control, which is the effects. So the effects. So we've got this dual concentric knob on the delay setting. Now underneath the delay control, we've got the effects control. So if I turn that up, okay, so that's got, at the moment you'll see it's got this effects and it says heavy octave. So if I turn that up a little bit, that gives you this sort of sound. So it's yes, we've got like an octave effect. If I click on it again, we've got a tremolo. If I click on it again, I've got a T-bar. Well, I like the tremolo, so let's keep it on the tremolo. Now, what you can do when you're setting up your Katana for live use, you can set all these up, so you can change all the effects in these boxes. So when you just take the Katana out, you obviously haven't got to take a computer with you, and then you know with the different coloured buttons, you know which setting that you prefer. So for instance, if one song you want to use an octave effect, you can do that, and the next song you can click on it and then it will change to the tremolo setting. Right, let's bring that back, we don't need that. And we can turn it off just by winding that control all the way back. Right, it's the same for the modulation control. I'm not going to worry too much about that at the moment, but just to show you, if I turn that up, now I've got this set to a compressor. Where are we? This one, aren't we? Now you'll see with this one, the sustain and the level are moving at the same time because it's trying to compensate for the effect. So if we just turned up the sustain, the level would increase, and I'll show you what that does. But what this is doing, you see the levels changing at the same time. Now I'm going to use the compressor, but I'm going to dial it all the way back. Turn the level up a bit. Now, last of all, you've got the booster. So if I go back to my effects here, now I think this is the most useful thing about it, because you can choose 3 different distortion types and then switch between them on the fly. So on my booster slot, I've got a blues driver. On the green slot, in the red slot, I've got an overdrive, and in the yellow slot, I've got distortion. So if I turn up the drive, let me switch on the booster there, you can see what's happening. Now you'll see the drive and the effects level are changing at the same time. That's just to compensate for the level. So if I go back to my effects, so I've got a blues driver on the green setting. If I click again, I go to an overdrive. And if I click on it again, we go to the distortion setting. Now, let me go back to me. If I do that, and let's click on... Sorry, guys, I've got so many things that I've got to... Yeah, I know it's upside down. There's nothing I can do about it being upside down. I tried changing it around, but then if I actually turn the amplifier around, you wouldn't be able to see it. At least you can see it as if you were looking at it from the back of your amp. So it's the only way that I could do it, because if I did it around the other way, you wouldn't actually see what all these controls were. So, okay, let's get to questions. Scooby Stats says, good evening, Paul from Colorado. Your videos on the Katana have educated me so well. I couldn't think of a single question for today's show. Still watching. Always something to discover. Oh, cheers, Scooby. Can you show us the air-step cat? Still not. No. I'm allowed to show you, but the software still hasn't been approved, so I can't show you that. Yeah, until air-step tell me that it's all working fine, then I can't show it, unfortunately. But I will do. I'll definitely show it in one of the shows. Cheers, Topload. Very kind of you. Greetings from Singapore from Keith. Oh, Keith, you're over there now. Nice. K Michael P's in the house. Dilly Black. Paul, how about a nice jazz tone for the Mark 150? Yes, I'm not a jazz player, to be honest. And it'll be like me trying to do a heavy rock tone. You know, like a metal tone. If I did a jazz tone for you, it would be my idea of a jazz tone. And if someone said to me, can you do this like a, I don't know, some big sort of metal tone, it would probably be the same. You know, you get metalists that would go, no, that's not a metal tone. So probably not my wheelhouse. But I mean, jazz tone. I think all you've got to do, just wind your volume, wind your tone back on your tone control. I know that's a little bit simplified. Let me just go back to the Katana like that. Let's try it. I mean, literally, just take the treble off. My idea of a jazz tone. I'm not a jazzer, I'm afraid. I'll do my best. Let's go back to there. Where are we? Paul's being upgraded. It's not those ads again. Yes, Delhi. No, it's not those ads. Greetings from Flagstaff, Arizona, from Brett. Hi, Brett. Ridiculous Wonk. Hi from New Jersey. Mark Guitar. Hi, Paul. Hi, Mark. K Michael P's in the house. Aussie Farrow, can see you good. Yes, this is everyone saying it's all working loud and clear. Great, so that's everyone saying it's all good. Okay, Keith says, question, are you using an aggregate device on the Mac to combine the Cat USB and your microphone? Yes, it's really complicated. If I explained, well, I'll explain what I'm doing. The Katana is plugged in via USB into the Mac. And then I'm then using a DAW so you guys can hear the software, and then taking an auxiliary out of that DAW into something called a Blackmagic ATEM, which is like a video controller where all the cameras are plugged into. There's also a microphone plugged into that as well. It is incredibly complicated and it baffles me every time. Jeff Rock says, you want to send that telly back? It's got a few scratches on it. Yeah, so this is, I picked this up yesterday. That's got a few dents in it. So yeah, I'm really chuffed with this actually. It's a really good one. Let me fix this tone. There we go, clarity. Mark Guitar, there's a slight sheen on the old bonds. Deep breath. Mark, I'm bald. What do you want? You're gonna have to put up with that, I'm afraid. Actually, the sheen is probably me sweating trying to get this epoxy thing to work. The amp shirt is upside down. Yes, we all know it's upside down, and I'm going to be told a million times it's upside down. It's upside down. Aussie Farrow said, just got a second-hand Katana Mark 1 2x12. Need videos like this. Oh, nice one, mate. You'll have fun with that. Good. Okay. Top Low Telly, there's another reason I preferred the artist. The controls are on the front. That is so true. That is a good thing about the artist. Yeah. Hi Colin, how you doing? Steve Cochran, hi Paul. These cat videos are my favourite videos from the studio rats. Oh, cheers, mate. Where are you based, Dave? Okay, you guys are talking amongst yourself. Who's Dave? Anyway, you guys can sort that out. The tape echo and rotary speaker effects are excellent. Hell, they're all good. Yes, the effects are especially good inside the Katana. Now, I don't know if you guys are getting all that. We just got some internet dropout from YouTube, but hopefully you got all that. Brett Spencer says, in some videos you use the orange comp, light in others. Okay, in some videos you use the orange compressor and the light compressor in others. Today the Boss comp, what's the difference that makes you choose one over the other? To be honest, the one that I would always use would be the light comp. I would always use the light comp. I think it's the best sounding compressor. Unless you really want that over compressed sort of sound, which I never use. A compressor for me is always just sort of touching the guitar sound. I'll show you the difference actually. Let me get back to push. No, that camera. Actually, let's do this. That camera and there. Okay. Yes, I know it's upside down. Okay. Let's look at the mod. Right, let's turn it up so we can hear it. Now, these compressors are all a little bit overdone, I would say. So, for me, you don't really want the sustain on the compressor much past 20, unless you're really looking for that sort of spank sound. I mean, that's compressed as it is. If I turn that up, let's go up to let's try at 50. It's too much. That's way too much. And then you can go up to 100. Actually, let's not go up to. Let's do that. Bring the level right back. I mean, there's no way that I'd use a compressor like that, so I was bringing that back to about 20. Turn the level up so it matches. There. Now, with a compressor, for me, you just want it shaving the peaks off. So I don't want it to completely squash and take all those dynamics away. So that's why I always have the compressor on quite light. Let's go back to questions. So yeah, Brett. I would normally always stick to the light compressor. So go with that one if you can. Top load Telly, I can't flip the camera over. It doesn't work like that. If you flip the camera over, actually, no, I'm not going to do it. If I flip the camera over, you'd be looking the other way. You can't, it's not the way that it works with my setup, unfortunately. Steve Milk says, just jumped on. Do you cover a blues panel tone? Yes. So, Steve, well, anyone, if you want to get some preset packs, they're on our website, which is thestudioRats.net. And we have preset packs on there. They're quite reasonable. I think they're about £10 a preset pack. And I think I do all the preset packs for $10. And I think I do all 5 of the preset packs for $35. And there's plenty of blues tones in there. The Piano Cube guy. Which amp do you think the clean variation sounds most like? You mentioned the Vox AC30. Just curious if there's any others you think it's even closer to. Now, I think the reason is with the variation control. I mean, if I say it sounds like an AC30, it doesn't sound like an AC30, but it's got more of that brightness and less headroom, I'd say. So it just crunches up in a nicer way, I think, with the variation button on. So that's with the variation button on. With it off, so it's not Fendery at all, because it's got a lot more bottom end, but it's and it hasn't got that mid-scooped Fender sound. But with the variation button on, if I can find it, there it is. You just get a nice bit of clarity from it. Let me have a look. Where are we? So the comments just flash up and I can't see where I'm going. Henrik says, "Hi Paul, I really like your channel and all your content. Thanks, Henrik. It inspires me every time, especially all your content about guitar tone, about jazz tone and Katana asked earlier. Jens Larsen is great. Yes. Okay, maybe, I tell you what, maybe James can do a jazz tone, because James is more into jazz than me. Maybe, and then maybe James and I can sit down and do it together. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. So yeah, I hope that helps. Peter says, hi, I made a great high gain lead sound with the rat booster, but I can't get rid of noise in lower notes when I play power chords. Do you have any advice about how I can make that better without lowering the gain? Yeah. Well, let's try it. Let's switch over to the software again. There. Okay. So let's go in the booster and let's get the rat going. Yeah, that's horrible. What's going on there? Now for me, the rat emulation in the Katana is great, isn't it? Let's bring back the bottom just a little bit. Check levels. Okay. So as you can hear, I've got that on. I'm using a telly, which is traditionally a noisy guitar. I'm sat in front of loads of lights and a screen. I should be getting loads and loads of noise, and I would be if I didn't have my noise suppressor on. So I've listened to the difference. So what I'd recommend is definitely using the noise suppressor, and you're going to need to load up the Tone Studio on your computer for that. And just setting it so, actually let me explain, let me go back. Setting it so it just comes on. Now you don't want to choke any of your guitar notes. So for instance, if I turn up the guitar volume and I bring the threshold back, now you can obviously hear noise. But it's not so bad. But it's still got that, I mean, there's loads of computer stuff going on at the moment, so we're getting some of that USB noise as well. But let me just turn it up a bit. Now, I think around there, I'd be happy with that. It's pretty silent. Now, if I grab a Les Paul, let me do that. Okay, so, you know, much quieter guitar. Actually, it's not that much quieter. Pretty quiet. So, I mean, definitely use your noise suppressor. Let's have a look. Yeah, I hope that helps, Peter. Try it. I mean, if you're still having noise, if you're still having noise and you're using the noise suppressor, you shouldn't have noise if you're using that. there's probably something wrong with your pickups. You might need to get them dipped. Yeah, I mean, let me know what guitar you've got. Let me just go back actually. Let me get down to here. Bank 1. Here we go. Okay, let me pick up that telly again because someone's asking about it. Oops. Smacking on my guitars. Here we go. Right. Dilly Black says, tell us more about the telly. Yes, so this is well, it's not a telly. It's not. See, this is why I bought one of these. So I've got a Telecaster, which is my pink one. You might have seen in other videos. And I've got an Esquire, which is the other sort of Sunburst one. And this is a no-caster. So if you look up there, and you can tell it's a no-caster because it hasn't got Telecaster or Esquire written on the headstock. So the reason the reason I bought this is because if my wife ever said to me, "You bought another Telecaster," I can say, "No, I haven't. It's not a Telecaster," so I can get away with it. Anyway, so it's a limited edition custom shop, and it's got a really nice. I don't know if you can see it on the. Let me switch to this camera. That camera there. See, it's got a really nice sort of flame to the neck. And it's yeah, I picked it up yesterday because I sold I sold one of my Strats, and I was trying to think of something to replace it with. And I mean, you know, if you guys watch this channel, you'll know what a massive Telecaster fan I am. So get rid of a Strat, buy a telly, or a no-caster. Where are we? Okay, Mark Guitar says that was what I was getting at. Nice thin line, love them. Oh, cheers, Mark. Yeah, it's great actually. It's my first. Actually, it isn't my first thin line style Telecaster because I had a Sir before, but yeah, really good, really light. Obviously, because it's been, you know, hollowed out, and it's really resonant as well. So yeah, big fan of this actually. It might become my number one because my old Esquire, which is the other Sunburst one, that was my number one telly. But this one, it's got something about it that is yeah, it's really special. Where are we? Okay, David Bro says, I'm using expression pedal with my Katana. Do I write the patch with the pedal FX on and save? Then I can write the pedal to be saved as a volume pedal or other patches. I think I know what you mean, David. Yes. Exactly what you do. So you can set your expression pedal to do different things on different patches. Yes, so you need to save it inside the patch. Now be careful because if you set up a patch and you start then messing around with the expression pedal, then you save, you've saved the setting of that expression pedal, if that makes sense. Doesn't the video software let you rotate the image? No, it doesn't. Afterwards you can do it, but not before. John W, I'm interested in a JTM 45 sound that is full sounding but will cut in a band setting. Nice, yeah, nice one. I think the thing about the Katana, and I think lots of people do this, lots of people say, oh, can we get a matchless setting? Oh, can you make your, you know, can we do like a matchless patch in the Katana, or can we do like an AC30 patch, or can we do this? That's not really what the Katana does. If you want that sort of thing, you know, go and have a look at, you know, possibly the new Catalyst, the Line 6. I haven't tried it yet. Because that models, you know, they use models of these amplifiers. The Katanas and all of Boss's stuff, it's their own amps. So don't think of it as in I need to have a JTM 45 sound, I need to have an AC30 sort of sound. I mean, you can get that sort of tone out of it, but you know, I've used a few JTM 45s and even that, you know, changing the controls on the JTM 45 can make vastly different sort of tones. So try and look at the Katana as its own thing and build the sound from that. If you're looking for, if you say to me something like, oh, I need a sound like, I don't know, Stevie Ray Vaughan in this particular gig, and you know, here's a video of it, we might be able to sort of get close to that sort of thing, but it doesn't really model amps. Dilly Black, the dropout is tiny, more like a stutter. Good. Okay, that's fine. Pez says, I have my DD3 always on. You reckon I could replace it with an onboard Katana delay and a clear spot on my pedal board for another toy? Yeah, I reckon you possibly could, because the DD3 is, you know, the digital setting inside the Katana is basically, you know, the DD3. That's there. The DD3 is the Boss digital delay. And that's what it does. Yeah, I think you'd get. I think you'd be really happy with it, to be honest, Pez. Cheers, Pez, as well for the telly. Brett Spencer, thank you, Paul. Very helpful. I'm okay with the panel being upside down. Well, we haven't got a choice, but thanks, Brett. I'm glad someone doesn't mind. Rob, greetings from Bristol. What do you guys use to get a very big ambient sound? Yeah, that's the thing about the Katana. The Katana doesn't do that. It does. I mean, I've done ambient patches in the Studio Rats patches that I sell. There's loads of sort of ambient sounds, but let me sort of show you what you can get out of it if I switch back to the Katana. And it's so complicated doing all this software here. Let me do that. Nope, wrong one. Nope, that one. Hey, there we go. There we go. Okay, let's turn that rat off. Now, the thing about the Katana is it doesn't have all of those sort of big sky Strymon style modulated reverbs. And what I mean by that is it doesn't have sort of reverbs with sort of pitch, when I say pitch effects, like actual octave effects in it. But if you go to the reverb, actually let's use our effects as we're doing this today. I'm going to change this delay here. Oops, no, this delay here. There we go. What setting we want to modulate? Oh, yeah, great. Okay, so we're on the modulation setting, which is the one I would go for. Let's turn up the reverb time. Give it a bit of pre-delay. Turn up the effects level. Time up even more. So, nice sort of ambient tone. Now, what I like to do, because we haven't got all of those sort of shimmer, that's the word I was looking for, the shimmer reverbs, because we haven't got shimmer reverbs inside the Katana. Let's go to the delay setting as well. Eventually, it'll work. Let's cut back to here. Okay. Let's turn up the effects level a bit. Bring back delay time to about 400 milliseconds. Okay. And then if we use either the modulate setting or the SDE 3000. Now, if you listen to the, if I play a chord or a note, you're listening and you're hearing in the background, you've got this little wavering sort of chorus sound. If I bring up the modulation depth, you can really hear it. See, I think you can get some sort of fairly decent ambient reverb and delay settings on the Katana. I wish it had a shimmer verb, but yeah. Here we go. Lee Miller says, "Is there a good?" Oh, I've lost it again. She didn't jump up like that. Lee Miller says, "Is there a good setting for the amp? I'm on the back, and if so, can you do a spot on it? Cheers." Is there a good setting for the amp in the back? Sorry, Lee. You might have to explain what you mean by that. Is there a good setting for the amp in on the back, and if so, can you do a spot on it? Yeah, explain what you mean by that, Lee. Yeah, let me know. Pez, jazz tone is just less presence. Roll off the tone and wear a black polo neck. Simples. Dilly Black, great. John W, have you tried the governor pedal? What, do you mean? Oh, okay. Sorry, you guys talking amongst yourselves. Yay, humbuckers. Yeah, people like that. Yes, I know. I just prefer single coils. But it's nice every now and again just to bring one out. Thomas Barron says, Paul, what is your favourite Matches amp so far? Would you know if there is a one-channel amp that has the sonic characteristics of the Independence? No, there's not a one-channel amp that has a... The Independence is a bit of a funny one because the Independence is an EL34 based amp, while most Matches amps are EL84. So think of the difference of EL84 being Vox style amps. Doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you've got EL84s in an amp, it's going to sound like a Vox, so that doesn't mean that. But Matches mainly do... Well, Matches were founded on an amplifier called the C30, which an H30, which was basically a Vox that was good. Because Voxes are inherently unreliable. I mean, if, you know, like people like Brian May, when he goes out and he uses an AC30, he has to take about 10 with him, because they're always breaking down, and they do always break down. So that is why Matches came out with the H30 and the C30. So good Vox. Now the Independence is an EL34 based amp, so it's more like a Marshall in the topology of it. So it's got EL34s. It's slightly more, well, EL34s are more durable. Hence Marshalls, but it doesn't. It's a really good amp because what happens with it is the frequency range of that amp is like a perfect guitar amp. It hasn't got too much bass, so it never flubs out. It never gets like it's almost like if you're playing in like a band situation with an Independence. All of that bass end, all that bottom end, that rumble that you don't need is not even there on the Independence. You haven't got to worry about that, and that's why I really like the Independence. If you want one-channel amps, they do Spitfires and Lightnings, and there's another one as well. I can't remember what it's called. I've got a Lightning that I really like. It's not like the Independence though. It's more like the Independence, the clean channel on the Independence. But the clean, to be honest, with the Independence, I normally use the clean channel and just stack it with pedals because I sort of prefer it that way. Cheers, Top Load, great looking axe. David Brose, do you miss your PRS DGT? You're going to? No, I don't actually. I don't. I really don't. So far. But maybe you're right, maybe I will. Machine Boy, have you tested the Catalyst yet? And if so, how does it compare to the Katana? No, I haven't. So we're trying to get hold of one. If Line 6 won't send us one, I'll have to go and buy one. The only thing is, because we do quite a lot of reviews, I just end up with so much gear and I'm running out of space. So I don't want to have, you know, another amp to try and find somewhere to keep. It's a shame that the Catalyst doesn't come in a head version, or at least I don't think it does. I think it only comes in sort of 1x12 and 2x12s. But if it came in a head, that'd be much easier because I can sort of stick it somewhere and it's out of the way. But yes, we will at some point definitely be getting one. Peter says, thanks. I have an Ibanez RG652 with Damasio tone zone and Air Norton pickups. I'll try to play with a noise suppressor a little. Thanks again. Yeah, excellent. I'll be surprised if your Ibanez with Damasios aren't quiet. So Yeah, play with the noise suppressor. TM Pro 11. Hi Paul, I'm planning on buying your preset pack, but is there a patch that we can try for free so I can hear what it sounds like with my surroundings? Is there a free preset pack? There used to be. I think because what happened is I changed over my website and we didn't have the free preset pack. I mean, okay. The preset packs are $10. So what's that? That's about £7. So it's not breaking the bank if it's something you don't like. I've never had anyone say that they don't like the preset pack. So I think it's worth a punt. Top Low Telly says, my PRS Hollow Body 2 SE only weighs £6. Light as a feather with a ton of resonance. Nice one, yeah. Nice. See, I like guitars. I mean, if you can get guitars under £7, that is, oh, that's a dream. But I like guitars around sort of 7 to 7.5. Where are we? Stealthy7 says, hi, relatively new subscriber here. Can we talk Wazza a sec? Recently downloaded your excellent patches. Do you have any more? Thanks, Graham. Yeah, Wazza what? There's quite a few different Wazzas, Stealthy7. Thanks for downloading the patches. Oh, and if you're talking about the Wazza headphones, maybe? No, I haven't. If you're talking about the headphones, I haven't done any more patches for the headphones. Only because, see, the thing about the Katana, I do the Katanas because thousands of people have got Katanas, and it's you know, it's loads of people can get a benefit out of them. For the Wazzas, they're quite a niche sort of product, and it's a brilliant product. Where are we? Chantal Pierre says, modulate reverb to the max. I created an ambient sound very early and I've stuck to it since. It's not huge, but does the job. Yeah, brilliant. First name, last name. Hi, Paul. Great session. Thank you. Can you show us how to get a comfortably numb solo tone, please? Do you know, James has done that. James has, if you go to the website, our website, the www.thestudioats.net. I don't think you have to say www anymore, do you? James has done something called Useful Leads, Jive Useful Leads pack, I think it's called, and there's a comfortably numb solo tone on that. Stealthy7, did they sound the same as the videos? Yes. So all the patches are the ones that I've done whole sort of videos on them. So every single preset pack that I've done, if you look on the YouTube channel, you'll hear me demoing all of those patches. Top Load Telly, I still want to connect two Mark IIs together using the stereo expand where crank them both up. Yeah, it's such a great thing. That feature is so good. Such a great idea that Boss had when they did that. Stealthy7. Okay, you're chatting amongst yourselves. I'd like some more. Dilly Black, don't forget the likes and subscribe, guys. Yeah, thanks, Dilly. Guys, yeah, it really helps. If you haven't liked and subscribed, like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us, and helps us push these sort of videos out, which, you know, we're doing for free, and they just go out to, helps get them out to more people. Oh, look, who's done that? Someone's been most generous. Tomaz. Cheers, Tomaz. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate your answer. Just love the simplicity of one channel amps and pedals in. We'll look at the Lightning and Spitfire for matches. Thomas, I've got the Lightning is a blinding little amp. It's 15 watts. Don't let that put you off. It is so loud, and it's perfect. It sounds really, really good. It's blisteringly loud. But that's the other thing about it as well. If you turn down the match, okay. So the independence, Thomas. If you turn down the master volume, it sounds good. But you really have to crank. You really have to crank the independence because it's 34 watts, and it is okay. So I had the Independence 35, and I had the 2 Rock, 100 watt 2 Rock. The Independence 35 was louder than the 2 Rock, the 100 watt 2 Rock, and the match is 35 watts. Go figure. But it's so loud. But the matchless, so the Independence 35, when you turn it down, it sounds all right. When you turn it up, it sounds amazing. Now with the lightning, you can turn it right down and it sounds fantastic. Also, if you're looking for that sort of amp as well, Bad Cats do really good amps on their newer sort of models from the Mark IIIs, where they've got this K master, so you can turn the master control down low and still get a really good sound out of it. Where are we? Oh yeah, so Dilly said that. Okay, Brett Spencer says you can always supplement the reverb in the effects loop. Paul has a video on that with the MXR reverb. Yeah, that's very true, Brett. Well done. Good, and that's a really good point. So yes, if you do want to get some more ambient tones, you want to use those sort of shimmer reverbs. Go and buy yourself a delay pedal and stick it in the effects loop. If you've got the 100 watt, I don't think the 50's got an effects loop, but I could be wrong. Topload Telly says, I bit the bullet and bought a UA golden reverberator. Nice one. Best reverb I've ever heard. Yes. The Lexicon 224 setting on that is absolutely staggering. Really good. Yeah, that's my favourite pedal. I think you made the right choice there, Topload. I think that's the best pedal out of what they've out the 3 pedals that they've released. Brett Spencer says, check the TSR Katana playlist. James has a patch set with Gilmorish tones. Yes, thanks, Brett. Well done. Yes, James has demonstrated them on the channel. Mr. Traveller X, do you find the sound from the headphones very different from the speaker in terms of sustain and distortion sounds? Yeah, it is pretty different. So if you're talking about the headphone out on the Katana, I don't know why they put a mono headphone out on the Katana. I don't know why. Yes, it is very different. It is very different. But you know, you can get away with it. I mean, and sticking a microphone in front of the Katana, you know, if that's what you want to do, if you want to go out live and you want to, you know, stick a microphone in front of it, or you know, get it going out to the PA, you can do that, and it sounds great. Where are we? Colin Sipthorne says, Paul, knowing you're a big Telly fan, what do you think it does better than the Strat you have? Okay, so a Telecaster is okay. The Strat bridge pickup. Shall I demo it? Shall I show you what I mean? Oof, that's a bit loud, isn't it? Hold on. How are we doing for time? We're doing all right, aren't we? Let's turn down. There we go. See what I'm doing. Oof. Bring that back. Okay. Okay. Telecaster bridge pickup sounds like this. So it's rounded, and the difference between a Telecaster pickup and a Strat pickup is the Telecaster pickup is mounted on a brass block. So it's a much smoother sounding pickup. So it's obviously not a humbucker, but it sounds more like a humbucker than say like a Strat pickup. It takes overdrive incredibly well. If I switch on an overdrive pedal, now if I get a Strat, so this is the sound of the bridge pickup. It should be. Here we go. It's thinner and it's harsher. Actually, this is quite a smooth sounding one, but if I switch on a distortion pedal, it's brittle. Now it's good, it's really good, and it's really cutting. So you have to, for me with the Strat, you either have to wind down your tone control, or you have to change the EQ on the amp. For a Telecaster, you don't have to touch tone control. Absolutely perfect. Hope that demonstrated and helped. Where are we? That modulated reverb sounds stunning. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? They're good. It's a good effect, that, inside the Katana. Steve Milk says, what are your thoughts on splittable humbuckers in the neck of a telly? Okay, so I always think that splittable humbuckers never sound like a single coil, first of all. And the only thing I think about splittable humbuckers, PRS have sort of got this right, but every other company, it seems, haven't. Now, if you put a humbucker in the neck of a telly and then you've got the telly bridge pickup, which can be quite pokey, but it's a bit of a mismatch. It's like having a Strat with a humbucker in the neck and single coils. You'll get like a thin, lower output sound on the bridge pickup, and then as soon as you switch it over to the neck pickup, you get this sort of big woolly sound. It's like with a Les Paul. You know, if you plug a Les Paul into an amp, you have to, you'd re-EQ the amp, because it's, especially in the neck position, which is quite dark. So I mean, I guess, there are some good splittable humbuckers. Sir makes some good ones that you can buy off the shelf and put them in, and the splits and Sir pickups are actually quite good. But no, I'm still not a massive fan. I think if it's a humbucker, it's a humbucker. If it's a single coil, it's a single coil. David Bro says, Paul, what are your thoughts on amps in a pedal? One plexi drive. Are they going to release a new Marshall line of the classics? If you mean a Marshall going to release a line, I think that's what something was leaked, and Marshall, due to like the Governor pedal and the Shred Master and all that sort of stuff, I think, or the talk is that they're going to be released then. Amp in a box, yeah, great, yeah, good. I tend to, I think with something like a Katana, it's great because you've got like quite a universal amp that you could then manipulate to sound like, you could put all these different amp in a box pedals in, Dumble style pedals and Marshall style pedals and that sort of stuff, and it would work really, really well with the Katana. The Katana takes pedals really, 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 really well. Lee Miller says, sorry bud, I meant the power amp in on the back of the amp. Would like to know what is a good setting to get when using multi-effects unit with the amp as a speaker. Or I think it's a really good question, Lee. It really depends on what you're using. What effects you're using. Line 6 effects. Are you using Axe effects? Are you using another Boss unit? I think to get a setting, it would really vary from you'd have to change the settings inside the effects unit as well as the Katana. So yeah, try and be a bit more. If you can be a bit more specific, and maybe we can try and get hold of that effects unit, and then we can do that as a video. George Keller, greetings from LA. To get a shimmer effect, you could add a high octave and set the delay to just under self oscillating. A nice one. Yeah, I'd like to see that, George. That sounds like a good video. Mayu 123 Katana again, so nice. Cheers, mate. Keith says, by the way, I bought a Pocket GT with me to Singapore. Nice. It's a nice little unit and can record from it if I need to. Yeah, if I got my GT, they're really good. Those little Pocket GTs, they sound great and really reasonable as well. Again, thank you to Thomas for your kind super chat. David Bro says, Guitar Center in the US have Boss Katanas in white. Oh wow, I haven't seen them. No. Oh, nice one. No, haven't seen them at all. Mark Guitar, I need a light guitar due to arthritis, so I built a semi-hollow Les Paul Jr. with Monty's vintage wound telly pickups in it. Oh, nice. Your tones on your pink telly were an inspiration for it. Cheers. Ah, cheers, Mark. Yeah, that sounds great. I'd like to hear that. Couldn't do 03. Just ordered a 5-pack and we'll give it a go. Nice one. Mr. Traveller X, did you talk about the presents? Maybe I missed it. No, we're not really doing. We're not dealing with that today as such. But the presents is great. Yeah, it's a really useful sort of top end EQ. Maybe we can talk about that next week. Can you talk about the equalizer, please? I've done a video on that, Mr. Traveller X, a couple of weeks ago. I did a whole thing on the equalizer. Top Low Telly looks like a new Mac Mini M1 is my future to power Studio One. These machines are super fast for DAWs. Yes, they are. Very much so. Yeah, you do well with that. Paul, how many people gig with the Katana? Can you ask? Yeah, it'd be nice to know how many of you actually do gig with the Katanas. I think they're great. I mean, I've done a gig with the Katana. Sounded great. It's nice as well because you don't have to, you know, you're not so precious about it. Well, actually, I'm not so precious about it, but you know, other than taking out, you know, like a really expensive matches or something, you know, I don't mind the Katana sort of getting a bit scuffed. Mr. Traveller X, TSR Katana playlist has videos on both the graphic and the parametric. Cheers, Brett. Yes, it does. The Great Beyond, I put DiMarzio injector into the bridge of my Strat and it sounds like a telebridge pickup. Oh, nice. I can highly recommend it. Yeah, so you can, if you've got a Strat and you really want that telly sound. I mean, for me, on a Strat, that pickup is the worst pickup. So you can buy companies like Seymour Duncan, and I don't know if DiMarzio do actually do it, but they do a Strat pickup that's mounted on a brass plate that gets that sort of telly sound out of it. I mean, a Telecaster is just like the ultimate rock guitar for me. It just does absolutely everything. Apart from whammy bar effects, but then you know, I take the whammy, but I take the tremolo arm out of the Strat because they're, you know, you play around with that and it'll just go completely out of tune, especially on a vintage style one like this. Where are we? Jeff Rock, you're right, Paul. The Sir Thornbuckers sound good split. Thornbuckers do sound really good. I had them in my I had a Sir Pete Thorn guitar, and I had a Sir Alt T guitar that had Thornbuckers in it. It sounded really good. I don't use it much on the Alt T. Yeah, that's the thing about the Alt T, isn't it, Jeff? That it's such a balanced guitar, and even though they're humbuckers, they don't really sound like humbuckers. They've got loads of clarity to them, and you can use them really clean. And yeah, when I had the Alt T, you're right, I normally used it in the humbucker mode, and it just sounds great. It's a really good guitar. That if anyone wants like a really good Telecaster and they like humbuckers, but they want lots of clarity, that's a perfect guitar. Jeff Rock says, I've gigged regularly with the Katana, especially tight space venues. Yeah, great. Well, I think we're done. What have we done? We've done 6:10. Nice one. Right, sorry we had the technical issues earlier, guys, which sort of messed me up for the whole. I had this whole sort of thing planned on the Katana, but because of all the technical issues and stressing me out, it didn't quite go to plan. But you get the idea of what I was going on about. Anyway, it's nice to talk to you guys and talk about the Katana and stuff and answer some questions. Again, so if anyone wants to buy any preset packs, you can do on our website, studiorats.net. And if you go to the downloads page, you can see all the patches there. And if you want to have a look at our YouTube channel, you can do that as well. And you can check out the videos that I've done on those patches. Again, like and subscribe, click on the bell button, and that really helps us and helps us get these videos out to other people. And yeah, if I can do next week, I will let you know, but hopefully I'm planning to do one next week, so I'll see you guys next week. And yeah, have a good weekend, and I'll see you then.